What is up, Giants fans? Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for subscribing. Keep on subscribing. Tell your Giants friends, enemies, whatever. Tell them to follow me. I will make them laugh. I promise. Because the sadness this team has been brought in the last 5 years puts some smiles on you guys' faces. So again, thanks for watching. This is the Q&A section of the video. Um, I've only had like 8 questions asked, but I appreciate it. This is my first time doing it, so bear with me. But I figured, a lot of slow stuff coming on in the off season. Not much to talk about right now until the new league year opens up in March, and then the draft later on in April. So I figured, let these people know more about me, the way I think. Um, no one's asked me any personal questions, but hey, I'll open up a little bit about me. I work as a computer and network technician for a school district in South Jersey. I have one daughter. I have a wife, and we live in this house in South Jersey. Got my Akeem Nicks and Burris jersey signed in the back. I got more memorabilia, but I showed you that before. But anyway, I'm trying to make this video short. But let's get right into the questions. First question is from NY Giants Football. What do you think can be done to our wide receiver tight end group to give Daniel Jones that change ownership wants? Do you think drafting younger players or trying to find some consistent on field players? That was his first question. Thank you. That was a great question. I just think we need more possession receivers and tight ends. We need receivers that can catch and get open quickly in case protection breaks down and Jones doesn't have time to throw. And we also just need a big body tight end, preferably, hopefully, Mo Alley Cox. He is one of the free agent tight ends coming onto this year. He's a great red zone target, very quarterback friendly. Kind of reminds me of like a little like a Jason Witten. He knows how to get quick open space, quick turnaround, boom, he's out in the open, and he has the ball for a first down and more. But just more reliable pass catchers. We've had Slayton make some drops. All our receivers currently, they're all combined making 40 mil this year, and they're all always effing hurt. So hopefully, just more consistent pass catchers on that front. Your next question is, what do you think Joe's going to do with the cap space that he does open up? I expect it to go towards a lot of offensive linemen in the draft or free agency. He will not trade for Russell Wilson. I know that was your next question. Russell Wilson's not coming here. We just can't afford him. Why would he come to a team with a worse offensive line? Actually, a worse talented team in general. He's got good receivers in Seattle, good head football coach, pretty decent D. We have none of that right now. We're a rebuild in progress. We're 2 to 3 years out. And aging, I know he said that he wants to come to New York because of Sierra. Who knows if that's true? That NY does lure a lot of money in the people's pockets, so it does make sense. But we can't afford Russell Wilson, and I don't think Russell Wilson wants to join at his age, an aging quarterback, an aging, banged-up quarterback, seeing all the licks and hits Jones takes, and he's missed multiple games the last 2-3 seasons of his career. I just don't see Russell Wilson coming to New York, and I don't see the Giants making a big move to get him. But thank you for your questions, NY Giants football. Next question is Daniel Keller. Daniel says, who do you think the Giants should target in the draft? There are rumors about possibly going for Trubisky in free agency. Giants should definitely target either Equinu, Neal, Linderbaum, any stud, hog molly, boulder offensive lineman that's available. You guys snag them up. We need to build this from the trenches up. D-line and O-line, nothing but in the draft. Maybe a safety, maybe a running back, wide receiver in the mix. But our first 2 picks, especially, even if we trade back, has to be O-line. We need to protect Daniel Jones, and even if Jones isn't the quarterback of the future, and he isn't our franchise guy going forward, the next quarterback, or even if we draft a quarterback in next year's draft or this year's draft, we need to protect the quarterback, and we need a damn O-line to help Saquon or any other future running back find some green grass to run through. So that's what I hope he does in the draft. And Trubisky, I'll take him. I don't think he's much better than Jones. I did see a stat where he's the only quarterback that has not thrown a pick six in like the last 50 attempts or whatever. I don't know. But he would make a good quarterback. He's comfortable. He knows Dable's offense. He knows Joe Shane pretty well. He can help teach Daniel Jones the nuances and the cadences of Dable's new offense that he's going to be implementing in the season. So I wouldn't mind it. It's a lot better than Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm. If I have to watch those two Stu-Nod Chooches throw any more incomplete passes, I will kill myself. Not really, but they are awful to watch. They were the worst two quarterbacks I've ever seen. I've spent more time on my phone putting in bets, watching TikToks than when I witnessed Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon play football. So yeah, I'm all for Trubisky being a backup, being a mentor to Jones, and maybe just helping him out. But he's not much better. I don't think he'll win the starting job. This is Jones's last tryout season. If Jones is good, he will be the quarterback for the future. If he has a bad year, then they're probably going to draft a quarterback next year. But thanks for your questions, Daniel. This one's coming from Mixed Sports. Most hated moment for every team in the NFC East against us. Definitely for the Eagles is the Miracle at the Meadowlands 2. I'll get into that later. For the Redskins, probably recently when we just went off sides and they beat us on a field goal that they initially had missed, but since our dumb defensive lineman went off sides, they had to re-kick it from a little closer in, and then they won. So that was probably my most hated against them. The Cowboys, probably when Andy Dalton beat us last year after we hurt Dak Prescott. We shouldn't have lost that game. There's no excuse to lose to Andy Dalton. I don't care how many good weapons the Cowboys have on offense. No excuses. Your second question, what's your whole dream starting offense realistically in the beginning of the 2022 season? I'll leave that question to be announced later, especially because we don't have any draft yet. I need to see who we draft in the first round, especially. We might get gadget players again. Who knows? We might get O linemen, hopefully. So I'm going to leave that question. I'll answer it later for you, but thanks for the question, Mixed Sports. Here's from my boy, the Mass Gambler. What is your favorite, most memorable game you've watched? That's clearly Super Bowl 42 when we knocked off the undefeated perfect season of Tom Brady, Randy Moss and company, and beat them in the Super Bowl. I think we were like 10.5, maybe even an 11-point underdog, and our defense was stout. Michael Strahan ended his glorious Hall of Fame career just sacking Brady, doing his all usual boom. He was a beast in that game. That was a great game, my most memorable for sure. How can you beat it? Eli Manning's first Super Bowl knocked off the GOAT on his best team he's ever been on, or by far the best team ever assembled, and we beat them and held their ass to 14 points. That was definitely my most memorable game. I knew this was coming. What is your least favorite game you watched? And this guy knows exactly my reaction when this happened. Miracle at the Meadowlands 2, when Deshaun Jackson returned that punt for a touchdown. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad for my room. It was bad for my appliances. Threw my cell phone, broke it against the TV, punched 2 holes in my wall, kicked down my closet doors, screamed profanity at the TV, screamed profanity at Matt Dodge. Probably gave him a little bit of some threats as well. Again, I was like 17 years old when that happened. But that was brutal. I remember some of my buddies that were Eagles fans. I remember texting them when it was like 31-17, and we just scored that touchdown, and I texted all my Eagles fans, stick a fork in them, they're done. And then once Deshaun returned that punt, I turned off my phone, deactivated my Facebook, and hid in my bedroom all day, smoked cigarettes to help calm me down. Nothing helped. That was a devastating blow. Before that, it was the 49ers wild card loss when Trey Junkin fumbled the snap and our punter tried throwing it down the field and they didn't call that pass interference against us. That was my second least favorite memory because, again, another game that we were blowing them out in. T.O. was crying on the sidelines. Jeff Garcia was throwing stupid passes. The defense was abusing Garcia and the Niners. There was a clip where Strahan's pointing to the scoreboard, yelling at T.O., saying, "Look at the scoreboard." That bit us in the fucking neck. But yeah, those games were definitely my least favorite. Thanks, Mass Gambler, for asking those. What do we have left? All right, the last 2 questions from Pietro DeSantis. His first question is, do you see any big free agent signings or trades like Aaron Rodgers or Odell coming back? I do not. Thanks for the question, Pietro. I do not. We have no money as is. Gettleman left us in tremendous cap hell. We are just trying to crawl out from the bottom and just try to just breathe and get some oxygen. We have $0 to work with right now. I believe we're like 12 to 20 in the cap, under the cap, or no, over the cap. Yeah, we got no money. We can't buy chiclets. We can't go to Dollar General and buy some hot fries. We're poor. We are piss poor, and that's all thanks to Dave Gettleman. Thank you, Dave, for leaving new GM Joe Shane with your mess to clean up. No, I don't see us making any big free agent signings. Joe Shane even said when he was hired, he's not that kind of guy that does that. He doesn't like spending a lot in free agency. He believes the best way to just invest in your players is through the draft because you're doing your due diligence, studying their tape, studying their characteristics, their home life, how they were raised, how they were brought up, their family background, all that stuff, medical history. So no, I don't think we're going to be signing any big free agent guys. I know that's not as exciting because, free agency, you see, we signed this guy, we signed that guy. And it is exciting, I'm not going to lie. I get excited when we make some big signings. I was ecstatic last year when we signed Galladay and Adoree Jackson and re-signed Leonard Williams. But, it didn't pay off. And like I always say, free agents are free agents for a reason. Either they became injury prone, they became too expensive for their lack of skill that they've been producing, their production is down and declining. If they were good players and affordable players, they would not be free agents. No, so I don't see we're getting Aaron Rodgers again either or Odell. Odell's not coming back. He just tore his ACL in the same leg he tore it before. He enjoys being in LA. He just had a kid. He's not moving. I think he goes back to the Rams on a prove-it deal, or he just takes the year off and maybe even retires. I mean, 2 ACL injuries in the same damn knee. That's going to be hard to come back from. I don't think he'll even be close to the player he was last year, but we'll see. And no, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Packers have been doing their due diligence, trying to create as much cap room to bring him and Adams back together. So no, I don't see Rodgers coming back. And then your last question, I'll end it. Not trying to call you out. Great question. I mean, it's a funny question though. Do you think there is any possibility that we will win the Super Bowl next year? I wish, man. I fucking wish, but no, we are very far away from that happening. I'll be ecstatic, like I said in my previous videos. I would be ecstatic if we even won 7 or 8 games, 9 games. I'm through the roof with enjoyment. 10 games, I'm jizzing everywhere. But no, there's no shot in hell that we will win the Super Bowl next year. So keep your expectations low. We aren't even going to win the play. We're not even going to make the playoffs, I don't think. If we do, that's surprising. And I know the argument can be said against me. Hey, the Bengals were pretty bad the year before, and they went to the Super Bowl this year. That is correct. But they just, they have a lot of things going for them. They have a proven good franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow. They probably had the best receiving core in the country. They have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. They have a great running back in Joe Mixon who can pass block and actually run for a first down. But I'll tell you one thing, Pietro, for that question alone, if we do somehow, I'll even give you this, if we even make the playoffs, not that, because I love these jerseys too much. If we win the Super Bowl, I will give you both of these signed jerseys behind me to you for free of charge. I promise. If we win the Super Bowl next year, you can have that. Shit, you can have this hat. You can have whatever you want because I would be so fucking happy that we won. I wouldn't give a shit about whatever I had to give up to get it. But again, thank you for answering or asking those questions. Kind of wish there was more, but actually kind of glad there wasn't. It took me 14 minutes. Didn't want to make this video as long as it did, but it's a boring time in here. Just trying to find content to make, but I appreciate all you guys subscribing, commenting, debating with me, whether you're a Giants fan or not. It's a boring time when there's no football, that's for sure. But anyway, guys, thank you again for the questions. I might do this again to see if anyone likes it or not. But anyway, stay blessed. Enjoy your weekend. Go Giants.